I can't fucking believe that I have to make this video today. But apparently they have dropped all charges against this little slimy, lying, insecure little bitch, Smollett, who was found guilty of 16, let me say that again, 16 felonies, including mail fraud, false police report, wasting, I don't know what crime this is called, but wasting law enforcement's time. They spent over 1,000 hours working on this case, trying to find the people that supposedly attacked him. But it was all a sham, and it was all fake. And now they're gonna let this little fucker go free.
Do you think Mr. Smollett did what he was charged with doing?
Yes, we stand behind the CPD's investigation in this case, the great work, the tremendous work.
No, you don't. You don't stand behind shit. This guy apparently has a bar, a law license. Are you kidding me? What do you stand for? You don't stand behind the Chicago PD. You gave him the middle finger, is what you did. You fucking double chin having, fucking yellow bellied little bitch. Look at his name, Magats. Joseph Magats. Yeah, pretty fitting last name. This guy's a no good. This guy folds under pressure like a lawn chair.
That they did in investigating this case.
Do you consider him innocent?
No.
Okay, so he's not innocent. Guilty of 16 felonies. I hate this little punk. This little entitled, insecure little punk. I'd like to sink my fist into his fucking face.
If this was the course turn they were going to take, why not have the same news conference yesterday where they gave us all the information and laid out why they did not decide to do these charges? That's the big question.
Because they had no reason. The reason they dropped all the charges is because he's gay, he's black, and he's a victim. That's why they dropped it. They dropped it because they don't want him to be held responsible for his actions. Because he's a victim, and he's a gay black man, and so, you know, he's higher on the totem pole for how, you know, Ben Shapiro has a good way of putting this. He's higher on the totem pole of having an opinion. So because he's black and homosexual, he shouldn't be held for his actions because society as a whole conspires against him because he is gay and black.
The rich are treated differently. The politically connected receive favorable treatment, adding no one is above the law. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx defends.
So now, I'm glad to hear this, but now the FBI is prying into this case because the states are responsible for enforcing the law, and if the states are too inept and are too pussified to enforce their laws with ulterior motives and racism and trying to push a political agenda, which is exactly what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Then the feds will come in and say, you have failed. You have failed. We're firing all of you. The states report to the feds, period.
Forfeit his $10,000 bond and partake in community service.
And that's all that's going to happen to this guy. He has to forfeit 10 grand, which this guy probably makes several $100,000 a month. You know, he's making, 100 G's an episode for that stupid show Empire, which no one really watches, so I don't really understand why they're paying him so much. I've never watched it. You've never watched it. I don't know anyone that watches that shit. And I don't plan to, especially now with that motherfucker on that show. But that's crabs in a bucket to this guy. He makes that in a couple hours, 10 G's, and he's got to do some community service. For him, that's just going to be getting out in the spotlight because this whore just wants attention. So yeah, he has no problem with doing community service. quote unquote community service. He'll probably make sure that he'll probably make sure that the press sees him doing the community service. So he looks a certain way, and he'll want to make sure that that's publicized because he's a whore. He's a complete attention whore, and he's getting off the hook. Now this state attorney Kim Foxx is a whore. She's got a political agenda. She doesn't want Smollett held accountable because she likes the fact that he faked an attack to blame Trump supporters. She likes that, and she supports it. So she doesn't represent the law. She doesn't represent integrity or justice or upholding the law. She's just a scumbag. She's a fucking scumbag, is what she is.
Foxx defending her office's decision to drop all 16 felony counts against Smollett, instead making him forfeit his $10,000 bond and partake in community service.
Yeah, big deal. 10 grand. He doesn't give a shit about 10 grand.
Handles cases like this, class 4 felonies, disorderly conduct, in this way often. Many of them
that's
with
bullshit.
Similar outcomes. That is in no way an indication by this office that he is not guilty of the crime that he was accused of.
Tina Chen, former chief of staff to Michelle Obama, reached out to Kim Foxx on behalf of the Smollet family, saying they have concerns about the investigation.
Okay, so basically his sister knows the chief of staff for Michelle Obama, and that person reached out to Kim Foxx. I don't know why that's applicable. Anyone can reach out to a prosecuting attorney. Their email's public. Their information is public. They hold an office. The responsibility is on her for maintaining integrity and not being swayed by a political agenda, which is exactly what happened. She folded like a fucking lawn chair on a little bit of political pressure, which really illustrates her lack of integrity, her ineptness in holding a bar association license. Her license should be revoked. She doesn't enforce the law. She plays politics. She doesn't stand for anything. She stands for corruption and racism. So fuck her. Fuck her. Another point I want to make is this prosecutor that dropped the charges here. She's claiming that, these class 4 felonies, they end like this all the time. They don't serve prison sentences. And so she's equating this with like a disorderly conduct charge, which is totally a false equalization. Not even close. Not even on the same planet. Smollett was indicted on 16 felonies from a grand jury, and they dismissed the case. Okay? That's different than getting charged with one class 4 felony for disorderly conduct. It's not even on the same planet. So I don't know why she's making this comparison to justify their actions. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Chicago's a shithole. Chicago's a shithole. It's ran by shithole politicians like this with agendas. That's why Detroit's a mess. That's why Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water, is because of fucks like this. And I hope the city gets worse for as long as they keep electing people like this into their political positions. I hope it goes down the tubes, just like Seattle is. Seattle's going to be just like Chicago. So get your popcorn, light a fire, put on the news, and have some fun watching this, because this is what's going to keep happening when you elect freaking left-wing Marxist socialist morons.